things, they take time. One has to have patience. But the good part is, if you see this journey of 14 years, there's been close to, I believe, 250 successful programs, 50 different kind of partnerships, several subsidiary companies those are created here, so it's working. So this is something which I want to give a positive message to the people here, that this is not just the lip service, there is actually effectual data, which is very encouraging to me, that how these all agencies, they have come together and the 14 years of working together, which has given the results to different stakeholders. And what makes it unique actually, if you look at this Swedish and Indian collaboration, we are a growing economy. At times the capital is scarce. We have to make choices, unlike the developed world where their priorities are different. But at the same time, as a country here in India, we are also committed for reducing the carbon emission, doing something right for the larger good of the environment, but at the same time keep growing. And there cannot be any better partners than the Swedish companies, because these companies here, they understand that in this kind of market, it has to be right cost solution. You cannot come up with a solution which are like very expensive. So when it comes to the clean tech, of course, it has to do something good in terms of reducing the energy consumption, reducing the carbon footprint, but at the same time those solutions have to come at the right cost, because no matter wherever you go, people look at the payback, and when the capital is limited, then one has to allocate that capital to the right cost where you maximize a return for your stakeholders. But I'm sure that once you hear all these companies today, see their presentation, the use cases, you will get to know that how this can do a lot good, both in terms of the environment and also improving the bottom line of the organization. So there is going to be a lot of intense discussion, and I would really encourage an active participation, and then take best use of this time interacting all our Swedish friends here, those who have come all the way, and we make most of it. So wish all the best for this program today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very inspiring speech. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Pawan Kahlani to deliver the theme address, please. Thank you.
To all of you. It's a pleasure to have all our delegates, our Swedish clean tech companies here, and the industry partners, our cousins from ISIA and Swedish Energy Agency, and all the dignitaries here. Today's workshop is our 27th workshop under the flagship program, India's Innovation Accelerator. And when we say flagship, this is one of the most successful bilateral programs in India and Sweden. Not only in India, but it's globally, Sweden is one of the most successful programs. We're in the last 14 years. We have been introducing continuously new technologies, and of course continuously driving sustainable innovation and excellent development of clean solutions. I represent Business Sweden. We are the office of the Swedish Trade Commissioner here. Our primary responsibility is to drive these kind of strategic programs in close collaboration with Swedish agencies as well as local partners, CI, and also responsible for helping Swedish companies coming to India and Indian companies going investments into Sweden. Before we look ahead, let's look a bit into what's happening across the globe right now. With the ongoing Middle East crisis, what we have realized is how fragile the energy systems are. One, they are very interconnected, but also we realize that there's so much of disturbance ongoing, and even a single choke point can lead to impact on the overall supply chains globally. What we also saw is there are continuous risk of energy supply disruptions. We also saw the volatility in the fossil fuel markets, and we also realized that the security, the capacities of working them on scale, how countries like India can use these technologies to develop their own safe energy future, to develop resilience, to develop energy supply chains which are not dependent on imports. That's what this program has been doing for the last 14 years, and now the significance has gone much more. When we look into India and Sweden trade relationships, these relationships have been going very strong. Yesterday I was part of FTA seminar, as you all are aware that India and EU signed an FTA, so we had a big webinar on FTA, how does it impact the Swedish companies and how does it impact Indian companies. We had more than 200 participants into that webinar, and the only question was how will it impact, which sectors are going to impact it, how we going to best leverage the whole FTA. So under the FTA, the tariffs are still being defined, the tax is still being returned. But what we foresee once the FTA comes into picture in January 2027, subject to ratification from both Indian Parliament and EU Parliament, we will see a very strong focus on joint work and joint collaboration. And with this kind of companies, the clean tech and green energy will be one of the key priority areas where Sweden is definitely going to work very closely with India. And our companies, we might have Indian companies having very well, I would say, proven history of working with the European countries will benefit the most. Today, what we are seeing in the last 10 years is the overall trade between India and Sweden has become 4 times. From around 2.5 billion in 2016, it was close to $8 to $9 billion in 2025. There are around 300 companies operating in India, with around 110 Swedish companies having own manufacturing. Some of the companies, the audience is very well aware of. I mean, they have managed to redefine the sectors. We have been hearing a lot about companies like Ericsson, Volvo, about companies like Tetra Pak, AstraZeneca. There are a number of other companies who are working very, very closely with on the B2B side, like Alfa Atlas Copco, who are pioneers in these sectors. And with these, what we're trying to do as forward teams in India, we are now trying to build the next generation of Swedish companies who can then shape up the next sectors in India. And this program serves as a very strong base to start. What we're trying to identify continuously in Sweden is which are the most relevant technologies. Together with energy agency, different countries are scouting for new companies which are relevant from customer areas, priority areas, and then gradually bringing them to India, and then leveraging CIS, local expertise here, we are trying to connect them with the best industry partners. So the overall focus definitely is on designing a program with a very clear purpose to help Swedish companies succeed in India while enabling
India and Sweden. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Edgar to deliver the special address. Thank you.
My name is Edgar Darbinian. I represent the Swedish Energy Agency. So we are the national authority for energy policy issues in Sweden, and I'm happy to be here with you today. It's my first time in Hyderabad actually, but after having some of your biryani yesterday, I think it's not going to be my last time, so I will be back soon. I'm going to run you through some basic facts about what we do as an agency, as well as what we do in India. Sometimes I get the question from embassy people and whatnot, sorry, excuse my language, what the hell is the Swedish Energy Agency doing in India? So I'm going to tell you a bit more about that. So to start off with some basics, we are, as I said, affordable and clean energy. To some of you, this might sound familiar because it's basically the same as Sustainable Development Goal 7 in the Agenda 2030. And so what we do is we promote the transition to a fossil-free energy system. Some of you may know that Sweden has so to our assignment, it's basically threefold. In terms of steering, we enforce governmental and parliamentary decisions. We are an expert agency, so we provide the government as well as the public domain with data, and we represent the government according to our mission, both domestically in Sweden and internationally, like I'm doing now. And we have a supporting function as well. So we disseminate information within the energy and climate area, and we grant financial support to research and innovation. So we are actually the largest funder of energy-related research and innovation in, I want to say Northern Europe, but don't quote me on that, but at least the biggest in Sweden. And so we provide support all the way from basic research to applied research to financing for verification with customers, commercialization, to capital investments and technology exports. And that is something that I work with, the far end of this scale, the innovation scale, internationalization. And that is something that is part of our international mission. So we have a mission to strengthen Sweden's competitiveness and accelerate the global energy transition as well. And this is something we want to achieve with this program as well, which I will go into more very soon. We want to create the conditions for Swedish clean tech companies to play a critical role in the energy transition. And how do we do this? Well, we create opportunities through our strategic programs and activities such as this accelerator, focusing on knowledge transfer, financing support, we build networks, and more. So, just to give you an overview of where we have our programs, they span all across the world, but focusing on India, we've been active since 2009. We have an MOU with the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy of India. We've been working with waste to energy programs, CDM projects. I think we have had 60 plus CDM projects from before. And, but focusing on this year and beyond, we mainly work through two channels or two programs, one of them being the ISIA program and the other being the Lead It 2.0 Industry Transition Partnership. And if I start with the Lead It program, the Lead It 2.0, our two prime ministers shook hands on promoting India-Sweden collaboration in R&D during COP28 in Dubai. So what are we doing here? We're basically right now focusing on unlocking conditions for technology demonstration projects. So we had a delegation that was here last week in Delhi, back to back with this one, focusing on hard-to-abate sectors, mainly steel and cement projects. And as for the India-Sweden Innovations Accelerator, it's our longest running program. It's been going on for 14 years, and it's the official program for energy-related collaboration between Sweden and India. We're running it together with CII and Business Sweden, of course. We couldn't do this without them. And it's a very broad program in terms of which technologies we promote, and in terms of geography as well, since we're working all across India, and the companies that are here today are also taking B2B meetings all across the country. So what we're doing is basically introducing Swedish clean tech SMEs to the Indian market. Sweden being one of the most innovative countries in the world, and India, which has a long history of entrepreneurship and is growing very rapidly, and is very forward-leaning, as well as with its climate targets, of course. So, as was mentioned, I mean, the results, I think, speak for themselves. We've had 80 plus companies that are commercial partnerships. And then finally, looking forward, we have 7 companies with us here in the room today, another one joining tomorrow as well, spanning across different areas, and who are going to be taking their respective B2B meetings this afternoon as well. So with that said, I look forward to taking part of the outcomes of these discussions, and thank you for your attention. Thank you.
I think we are able to continue this 14 years of engagement because of the CII leadership. The commitment and the support we get from the CII leadership is what is motivating the Secretariat and the CII as a whole to continue this kind of programs. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your presence. And you correctly said, like, what is the business model we should look for whenever we look for the opportunities. And I would like to assure on behalf of CII and Indian industry is definitely the Indian industry is very positive and is ready to adopt new technologies at any point of time. Thank you, sir, once again. And thank you, Mr. Pawan. I think whether it is life or business, you need a good partner. So because of Mr. Pawan and the Business Sweden kind of partner, we were able to continue this association for more than 14 years. I think without that support, their support and their involvement, I think not been possible. Thank you for your all the support, and then we hope we will continue this partnership and then do more things in future. And then thank you, Mr. He also mentioned about the lead IT, which we believe that it will bring in transformation in the breakthrough technologies in decarbonization, especially for the steel and cement hard-to-abate sectors, not only for them but also for other points. And then thanks to all of you for joining here, sparing your time, believing that there will be some good good inputs and business opportunity from this engagement. Thanks for your time, and also thanks to all the technology providers from Sweden because you are here to transfer the knowledge and then support us and then work together to make the business more successful. And then with that, I will also like to mention few points from the CII Green Business Center, which is one of the center of excellence working on energy efficiency, green building, renewable energy, and then climate change activities. And then of course, we do have a net zero target of 2070. Last month, many of you may be aware that we have also revised our NDC targets. That is about 60% energy consumption by renewable by 2035, and then 47% emission intensity reduction by 2035. The 2030 targets of emission intensity reduction as a country we have already achieved, but now we have revised our targets to 47% emission intensity reduction by 2035. So definitely there is a push. Of course, Mr. Pawan also mentioned about Mr. Trump, who is also helping us to move towards electrification, to move towards energy security, to adopt the technologies. I think one thing I would like to mention the Swedish friends here and also everybody here, that the challenges are not new for us. Maybe 4,000 years ago, we had one of the biggest war in the history of India, where the Guru said, Uddishta Jagrada. Okay, Uddishta Kaundeya, Yuddhaya Kritanishchaya. So that is the holy book of the Hinduism called Bhagavad Gita, where he said, let us fight the war, stand up, and then don't give up, and then we fight for it. So that is what we have been adopting. It is there in our blood. We always look for the challenges and convert that into opportunities. Maybe 10 years before, or even 8 years before, if you would have traveled to India, you would not have seen that kind of digital transaction. But when COVID came, everybody adopted. In fact, every street vendor today have digitalization, digital transformation, and then we have adopted that as an opportunity. Similarly, I think this challenge of energy security also will be converted into opportunities. I think for adopting these mandatory requirements, voluntary requirements, net zero requirements, carbon markets, I think we not only need a standard solution, but we also need innovation. We need out-of-box thinking, which Sweden can definitely help us, because they are the leaders in innovation, and then definitely India has the biggest market. Both of us can join together and then do this. So the last two lines about we have India's first net zero energy building just 2 kilometers away from here. If any of you are interested in visiting that building, if you have not visited that building, I request you, we can arrange for a tour in the afternoon, post the workshop. We'll be happy to show you the features of this building. It has a bifacial solar panel, again supported by Business Sweden and Swedish Energy Agency, which is making that building net zero energy building. Some of the technologies from Sweden is already implemented there successfully, and also we have a phytoremediation, we have many lot of things. I don't want to convert this into a building meeting, but definitely if you have not visited our center, please help us. We will definitely show you that, number one. Number two, we are also currently involved in a project called RAM. We are working with the 2000 MSME units in Telangana. We will be happy to assist any of your supply chain units or your own unit if it is MSME at free of cost. We can do a walkthrough audit and energy audit for 300. So please support us. Please tell us, like, if you know any MSME or if you are a part of an MSME, we will be very happy to assist you in improving your energy efficiency or renewable energy or anything else. And then, of course, along with the ISIA program, we also have an opportunity of working with 550 plus technology providers. In fact, all these 80 technologies, my humble request to participants is, don't only stop at the 7 technologies which are presented today, but also have a look at the past 73 technologies. So we should have a look at all the 80 technologies, and then we can also show you some more technologies which are really useful for the industry. So whenever it is economical, whenever it is relevant, whenever it is applicable, please reach out to us. We will definitely facilitate. We can validate the technology. We can also support you in getting some pilots. In some cases, it can be even partly reimbursed. So with that, I conclude. Once again, I thank the partners, Vice Chairman, special thanks to you, and then all the industries who are present here, the technology providers. So with this, I thank you once again. Thank you all.
So much. I would request all of you, all the dignitaries to please come for a group photograph.
I'm Gaurav, representing as a Vice Chairman of the CII Telangana here. Very encouraged to see a very good participation in this business summit here, where we expect that some new partnership will get frozen today. And it is very nice to see that how the Swedish innovation and with the Indian scale, we can really come together and create something big. And especially in the area of the clean tech, the clean energy, whatever work, whatever innovation the Swedish companies have done, I see a very good potential here in India. We have 7 companies today here, those who have come up all the way from Sweden. And this is a joint program which has been running for 14 years. And I'm sure that we will continue to see a lot of progress now and also in the future.
So what is the 14 companies will be traded in India?
14 years we have been running this program, and there has been so many partnership, new companies from the Sweden, those who have come up here, especially in the innovation and in the energy space.
Thanks.
It's Edgar Darbinian. I represent the Swedish Energy Agency, which is the national authority for energy policy issues in Sweden. So we are funding this India-Sweden Innovations Accelerator, whereby we're introducing Swedish clean tech SMEs to the Indian market. And we do this in collaboration with the Swedish Trade and Invest Council, Business Sweden, as well as our local partners, Confederation of Indian Industry. As was mentioned, we've been doing this for 14 years, introducing over 80 Swedish companies to the Indian market. And what we see is that India and Sweden are very natural partners in many ways. Sweden is a front runner in innovation and scale up, and India is a very big market with a long history of entrepreneurship and ambitious climate targets as well. So I do really think that Sweden and India can set an example for the rest of the world in terms of bilateral collaboration, and I think the ISIA program, as we call it, is a testament to that as well, with its results that we've shown over these past 14 years.
So only collaboration for Indian companies, any other countries?
Sorry, what do you mean?
So only collaboration for 14 Indian countries, only different countries also collaboration for you?
Yeah, we collaborate with across the whole world, but India is one of our most prioritized markets, and as detailed also in the Swedish foreign trade strategy as well. So we are a promotion agency, the Swedish Energy Agency, according to that strategy, and India is a very, very prioritized country for Sweden for collaboration.
What is your business market in India?
We work across different sectors, but we work in the energy field, clean tech, but we're quite broad in our definition. So we work with companies that have both direct and indirect energy relevance, and we see that some of our biggest success cases have, for example, been in water sustainability in India, where there's a very big demand. Also renewables, energy efficiency. The companies we have with us today also span across a variety of areas, working with everything from water sustainability, cooling agents, smart metering, smart grids, and so on and so forth. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Pavan. I'm heading the New Delhi office of Business Sweden, which is the office of the Swedish Trade Commissioner. We are very proud to be partner of this flagship program, India's Innovations Accelerator. With the India-EU FTA coming into picture, hopefully by next year, we see a very strong collaboration happening between Indian and Swedish companies. In last 10 years, we already seen the trade between India and Sweden growing by 3 times, touching almost $8 billion last year. And we are expecting a lot of more investments to come in from Sweden to India. Also, we are expecting a lot of Indian companies to go and invest in Sweden, use Sweden as a gateway towards whole of European Union. And this program is an excellent example how we are combining the Swedish innovation prowess with the India's capacity to develop solutions on scale. And the idea is to, once the solution is established here in India, they definitely are very suitable for all the emerging markets, especially the markets in Southeast Asia, Middle East, where the solutions can be implemented and used to improve the local conditions. And both countries share a very common vision. Sweden already announced its commitment to become carbon neutral by 2045. India has already set up a commitment to become carbon neutral by 2070. There's a lot of things which can be shared and learned by both countries, and that is what we have been trying in close collaboration with the Swedish Energy Agency as well as CII Experience Center under this program.
We've been in this studio. Yeah. Yeah? Louder. Lina from Can Specialty Fluids, a company in Sweden producing heat transfer fluids. And we've been part of this program, ISIA program, and then here in the third delegation trip, meeting stakeholders in the Indian industry, and also getting to know the culture of India and the culture of business here in India, especially in the segment we're in, refrigeration. And the goal from the beginning has been to find a partner here in India, because we feel that it's very important to have a local expertise and a local expert on the refrigeration market. And what we now are very happy to announce is that Metalex is now our partner here in India, with the local expertise and a long experience within the refrigeration business.
Thank you, Stina. We are very happy and honored to be a part of CRAN, to be a partner of CRAN out here in India, because we feel that India has a lot to improve in thermal energy solutions and also in the industrial refrigeration solutions, where CRAN has their specialty. So thank you, Stina, for considering us as partners, and we hope that we can, serve the Indian industry well.
The Swedish company Flexigrid, and today we've spoken about capital limitations and energy resilience. This is something that the electricity grid in India and all across the globe is suffering. So with Business Sweden and CII, I've been coming to India for 3 times now, and we've been learning with the different discoms about how the electricity grid could be optimized. This will be a benefit both for the system and for the energy consumers by reducing their bills, optimizing the utilization of the grids. Thank you very much.